Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have the stars of one of the greatest podcasts that was just acquired from a huge network. People are dying for it. It is Brandy and Julie of Dumb Gay Podcast. Guys, how did I get this booking? Thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited about your podcast growth.
Oh, well, you know, you've said, I remember years and years ago.
Oh, yeah.
When you said to us when we appeared on your podcast,
yes.
The Juicy Scoop, that our lives would change. And they have. And so I feel a full circle moment here with all of us together in this wondrous time.
I love it, love it.
The real get is the live show. On Friday.
Yes, let's talk about the live show Friday. I have it right here.
We never would have agreed to do without the $10 million you're paying us.
Yes, I'm paying $10 million, but you guys have to split it. Sorry.
Yeah. I know, like, next year renegotiation.
We are very excited to come to Scottsdale. We're going to do some hot topics today. And what is great about the live show is we let it frickin' rip. You cannot hear what we're going to say anywhere but if you go to a live show. You can't hear it on the Patreon. You can't hear it here. So that is why it's super fun. Mm-hmm. Julie's going to start at the show with her amazing stand-up. Then I do my amazing fresh new stand-up of stuff you haven't heard. And then Brandy comes out in a cute outfit. Are you bringing those heels that you love?
Yes.
And then we talk shit at the end. So it is a good one. There are still tickets left. It's only one show because I could only do one show because I have the greatest thing happening on Sunday, May 5th. It is my Mother's Day brunch and mass scene for Brandon's school. And I went when he was a freshman. And I saw how amazing it was and that the seniors spoke. And I said, you could offer me $10 million. I'm not missing this. Now, listen, he is going to speak. It might be quite simple. I don't care. I'm so excited. He's going to speak.
Have you
asked? That's so exciting.
Have you asked him for any hints?
No,
anything?
I just trust that it'll be great. And that's all I want.
Will you fucking die if he gets up there and is like, my mom is the greatest mom in the world. Like,
that's not fun. Whatever it is. I don't care if it's super specific or super general.
That's amazing.
It is. If you're looking to go to a school, they do offer this at the end of the 4 years, moms. If you'd like to send your kid to Crespi. No, I'm very excited about it.
So Drake didn't do it? Or
Drake went to Calabasas.
Oh, okay.
Also, he graduated during COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's those same kids whose graduations, I don't even want to get into it, are being compromised. So they're the same kids that didn't get to graduate from high school because of COVID.
Are now not getting to
graduate from college.
That's unbelievable.
Because of yes.
Oh.
But you could listen to Dumb Gay Podcast.
We will get into it. That's right.
Ugliness, the annoyingness.
Yes.
Yeah. You know.
You're absolutely correct on that.
Let's get into the fun. Okay. So I just want to talk about a little bit of the latest with Britney Spears. And this isn't fun, but it's juicy. Well, we don't know. Some people don't think we should be worried. Other people do. So she had quite a weekend. All right. It started out with this photo where she was with her dad. And she and her dad did settle their legal dispute over the conservatorship. He was saying that she owed him $2 million for the money that he had to spend paying lawyers who helped him manage the conservatorship. Britney and her lawyers didn't agree with paying that much, especially because there were some serious accusations, as we know, against her dad. But it has been settled. We don't know what it is, but they were seen together. Okay. And she was laying down because maybe she didn't want to be seen and photographed, you know?
Clearly doing her classic no seatbelt, which we know she loves.
Oh, okay. Right.
She loves to not wear a seatbelt.
Brown pumps are back. This could be a sign of stability or not. I don't know.
She seems fine.
But the brown pumps
She
were
seems
also,
completely fine.
I missed this, but she was wearing a different pair of brown pumps
totally
in
fine.
the car.
Yep,
Then she came back and danced around the Cheesecake Factory foyer in another cute dress, pushing the boobs up in the brown pumps.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, TMZ interviewed some psychiatrist who says that she should be on meds, and other people are saying she's going through her $60 million. This is through page 6. She's going through her $60 million estate post-conservatorship like crazy. She goes to Hawaii, goes to all these places, always takes private jets, goes, I don't know if that's true or not, but she was seen driving in like a Jeep or in a car with a bunch of friends in the back. And she filmed it and she since took it down. But TMZ captured it. And they were going to a winery, and then she posted this bottle of wine. And she said, "This is my first $300 bottle of wine." I wonder and it's called Nornan. Great advertising. I hope they send her a case.
Yeah,
and I normally would spend $6.99. I'm spending $300, and I'm like, free of these people. Let me have my $300 bottle of wine, which she deserves. And then she kind of made fun of her sister, so people thought. They're going through this thing, and she's doing all her accents. She's like, "I'll be going through a jungle now. Maybe I'll be like my sister who's in a jungle who said, bathe me, it's all about me," referencing that she was on that special forces.
What?
And so people thought she was dissing the sister. Other people were like, it sounds like she's having fun with her friends while going to a winery.
And they're
probably a little buzz.
Yeah.
She's not driving. I don't know. You guys, yes.
I mean, obviously she's completely fine. And there is no issue. She can take care of herself.
When we watch
she's completely stable.
the Instagram videos, we just are like, wow, it's been so good that she's out of this conservatorship.
Yeah.
She just really
She's
thriving.
flourishing. Flourishing.
Well,
I mean, it's so hard because, I felt so bad. I did feel bad for her in that conservatorship, which I thought was super brutal. But then you're like, she's insane. I mean, she's straight up insane. She's or deranged or whatever it is that a person gets because they've been abused or mistreated for their whole life. I think she has some problems, but I don't think she needs to be a caged animal.
Well, listen, you're probably thinking, Heather, didn't you meet her? Didn't she
Right.
film you doing
Right.
Drew Barrymore?
Mm-hmm.
And that is why you got to go to a live show because there is more to the story.
It's such
I do
it's
share
so good.
the full story.
Yeah.
Wishing her well, wishing the Norton Winery invite me. I'll also say that I love your $300 bottle of red wine.
And look,
And-
she saved $300. She normally spends $6.99, and now she's spending $300. Isn't that what she said?
$6.99.
$6.99. Oh,
I wonder if she herself got down on her knees, put the sprig
Yeah,
of
arranged
lavender.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's on the ground.
Put it into
That is a kind
portrait mode.
Wait, you're right. That photo is like, yes.
Maybe she just
Well,
grabbed
she's
that off
got
the
like
website.
3 or 4 people with her. So I'm hoping if you have 3 or 4 people that are getting a free afternoon and you're doing numerous accents for
Right.
entertainment,
Right.
I would hope that they would help with the social media
Right.
posts.
Jamie Lynn, put the wine on the ground. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. I mean, I don't know. We love Britney
We
so
love her
much.
too.
Yeah.
Um,
And I just hope she's okay.
Also, had a real fun time. I
mean, the
in
glamour.
Stagecoach. I am slightly crippled, like my hip. I don't even know what I was thinking.
Were you dancing?
It wasn't the dancing. It was just the hardcore walking.
Yeah, the walking.
Mhm.
The walking of 3 days
Yeah.
of,
Oof.
I
And in
mean,
boots.
I wore boots one day. Then I wore boots to the pre-parties with all the celebrities and then would switch to tennis shoes before we would get in the Uber and go to the actual thing. So I have 2 days of tennis. It was still so much walking but so much fun. And I ran into Kristen Cavallari and her hot,
Montana boyfriend.
yeah,
Yeah.
her little cub. She's a puma. He's a cub. And they were babes, and I got a cute photo. And Peter was like, ooh, he didn't even know who they were. And I was like, you don't understand. And someone was like, ooh, maybe she'll get you a Montana boy. I'm like, I have a former lifeguard from Oceanside, San Diego via 1988. So I don't think I need your 24-year-old Montana boy. Okay.
No, Peter's all the Montana we all need.
That's
okay?
right. He's a lifeguard. He's a golfer.
He's a pool expert.
He's a pool expert. He's a truck expert. He's a three-wheeler expert, duster expert. He's all the experts we need.
Julie
okay?
literally in her own time when we're not with you, Heather, she'll just go like this sometimes. She'll just go, I wonder if Peter ever just like looks outside at his truck. And I'm like,
Because like I do.
because that's what Julie does. And I'm like, probably.
You guys are just
These men.
soul sisters.
Yeah.
He
Soul
just,
sisters.
He just
Yeah.
comes across my mind and all throughout the day.
I'll tell you, a lot of people are like, would you do Stagecoach again? Okay. You know how there's those claw things that go and pick up the little toy from the arcade? If there's a way for a claw just to drop me in my seat for 3 days and then pick me up and fly me out of there, then yes. Now, I know that's an extra ticket. That's an Arctic pass. I didn't have those. Maybe I would do that. Maybe I would do. My niece did the shuttle. She said you should do that. But the shuttle drop-off wasn't anywhere near my house. But still, I wouldn't have had to wait for the Uber.
How much traffic, too, was there?
Or we just go to my house in La Quinta and barbecue and stream it from the pool.
That's the thing to do. I think.
Possibly, maybe I do that next year. It was super fun. Peter and I rallied every day. We had so much fun at all the parties. The weather was good. It wasn't too hot. Some years it is. And I love country music. I love country music because I didn't know how to change the station on my car when I would get off the freeway in La Quinta. And there was a public FM radio station that I found. And that's when I got into country music. And I knew all the songs. And I loved it.
Do you have a favorite country artist right now?
Right now, it's Morgan Wallen. Now, he's a little controversial because he threw the chair off of the thing.
Yes.
But out of everybody, it's also this kid, Bailey Zimmerman, who came out wearing a shirt. These younger country stars didn't really dress real country. These Gen Z country stars, they were like tatted up. One guy came out in a shirt that said, I like older women. That's Bailey Zimmerman. That was cute. With just like white, kind of tight shorts. So that was like not a country outfit. Then Hardy came out and he was like a mixed matched outfit. He had like beach shorts on and like a weird golf shirt. He was great, though I knew all his songs. And then Morgan came out in a normal country outfit. And this girl next to us, every time he finished the song, she goes, I want you to sit on my face. Or then she said, I want to sit on your face. Every song, I'm like, classy girl. Like it was just... It was fun, though. It was fun.
No, it's a lot of walking. They need people movers. We did this thing in like where's Petra? I don't remember. Where is that? Jordan. It's this crazy. If you don't know what Petra is, it's like kind of like seeing the pyramids.
Okay,
but it was.
Oh my God.
We got to the front with a guide, and it was a lot of money to have this guide. But you want to have a guide,
right?
You know, and I had to have my hair covered.
Yeah,
you know, because we were like in the Middle East.
Yeah,
and. When we got, he's like showing us a map.
Wait, did Julie not have to have her hair covered?
That's my little secret. I mean,
she just pretended she was a man.
I will risk it. No, I'm not fucking covering my hair.
Okay, so go on.
So we get up to the map of the place with the guide, and it's like pretty large. And I'm like looking at it, and I'm like seeing the little things that are on maps that tell you sort of like distance.
Yeah.
And I was adding it up, and I was like, I'm sorry, how long is this? And he's like, 18 miles.
On foot.
Total.
And I was like,
round trip.
I don't think that.
It wasn't 18 miles to get to the thing. It was like because you have to go to there and there and there and there.
Well,
and back.
It was 9 miles to get to the main thing we wanted to see. And then it was going to be 9 miles back.
Did you do it?
Yes. And then we saw people flying by in golf carts. And I'm in the hot headdress. And like my hair turned into one big dread. And it just was, I will never again do something like that without a golf cart.
Well, we did the pedicab. So partly walking out of the area of Stagecoach, same as Coachella, there's these guys in these, or girls in these electric pedicabs where like 4 to 6 people can fit. And I swear to God, it was like, I do feel like it's the Titanic. Like people just jumping on the last lifeboat to just be like, I don't care, I have a child at home. And I'm just like running and they're like, you're too old to have a child at home. I'm like, he's 18, let me on this pedicab. Like it was just, everyone was for themselves. It was out of, just.
That's the business to have.
Like, this is
$1,000. That's what I'm doing next Coachella.
Yeah.
I'm getting an electric pedicab and I'm going to make myself $50,000 in 3 days.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
They can charge whatever they want.
Oh.
Are you watching Baby Reindeer? Did you finish it?
Yes.
I have not finished it, so don't ruin the ending.
We
I'm
are-
like,
well,
I'm like one episode off.
Do you want to know how we finished it? Because I didn't like it and Julie didn't like it. So we watched all of the episodes in a little under an hour.
Okay, you didn't like it. Okay.
Mm-mm.
I was at a dinner last night with a bunch of women, and there was mixed reviews for it as well. Everyone told me to watch it. I felt kind of mixed too. I kind of feeling like it's work now to finish it.
Oh.
So what I find interesting is about a guy. It's based on 2 one-man shows that he did about his life. And they kind of combined it into this short series. And the main story is that he's working at this bar and this woman comes in and she's like, oh, I can't afford anything. And he gives her a Diet Coke, but then she says she's a lawyer. And every day he gives her a free Diet Coke. And then she starts stalking him, and he finds out that she is a convicted stalker of other things. And they're in England, but he's Scottish, right?
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, now when you write about people, whether it's in a book like I have or whatever, I've explained this, to keep legal happy, they say like in my book, you'll never blue ball in this town again. I date a bunch of guys. And besides changing the person's name, it's like, don't go from Brian to Brad. Go from Brian to Paul. And if he's an eye doctor in Santa Monica, make him a foot doctor in the Hollywood Hills. Like don't even make him a doctor. Like you have to change so many degrees of things. So anyway, and he also said, don't try to find this woman, whatever. But of course, the internet sleuths found her. But she's coming forth and she's upset about the show because the character who plays her is heavy. Not that she was a stalker, not all the weird shit she did. She was just like, oh, maybe if I gain 4 stones or whatever the English expression is of weight. And I'm like, look, they're trying to make it that you were different. And it was still someone who was a little off. She's 58, the real woman today. But this happened to him like in his 20s. And he's clearly more like 40 now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Does anyone know what she looks like, or just that she's not heavy?
She's just not fat, and
Okay.
she's 58. And so
Okay.
she's pissed about that. And she says she's going to sue for defamation. And maybe going to sue for defamation. So good luck with that,
Yeah.
lady, after
Okay.
stalking him. And now you know how it fucking feels. I'm glad that some people have found her and she's annoyed. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like you made this guy's life hell. And thank God he turned a hellish experience into art,
Mm-hmm.
which was 2 one-man shows, which then became a TV show. So,
I like the psychology of. I felt like that they should have maybe or could have. 1, it should have just been a movie. It's too long. 2, I like the psychology of you don't like this person and you know they're a pathological liar, but he at least was admitting that his ego couldn't get enough of it.
yes.
And
He's very honest in
Yeah.
all of it. So honest.
And we do get caught up in that, and particularly, I think, now online.
Mhm.
It's like, your ego getting off on, weirdos online giving you compliments, or that's how catfishing happens. I mean, his situation was different because he was kind of getting catfished right in front of his eyes, and it was obvious right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was that part of it was really interesting, the psychology of that.
Yes. And then how she's saying, now you're basically stalking me. You're using me for fame and wealth and all this other stuff. Well, too fucking bad.
Yeah, bitch.
If you enter someone's life, now you're part of my life, and I can say whatever I want. This experience happened to me, and too
Mhm.
bad. Thank God. People, it was interesting. She's an incredible actress, by the way. This woman
Yeah.
was wonderful.
It's interesting too. After we finished it, it's like so he was trying to be a comedian
Yeah.
and working at a bar. His career's not going good. He gets stalked. He gets embroiled into the thing and the ego, and then it's horrible. And he's being just tortured and sending. Then he turns it into the one-man show. And now his biggest success is due to this experience, which I think is pretty interesting. Their intertwinement of like that trauma. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to articulate it, but I was just like,
I think
thought
it's
it was
great
pretty
that-
interesting, and just something about it was just like weirdly poetic.
Yes, I do too. And
know?
I feel like, comedy is being authentic, but it's also tragedy plus time. So this happened a while ago and he was able to make something out of it. It's not particularly funny, but it's like, it's pretty dark. I don't really think it's funny at all, actually.
No, it's so dark.
So it's not like even a dark comedy. But it's the honesty and the other storyline about he was assaulted. That is so honest. Like I've never seen that kind of honesty about the aftermath of something like that for a man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is also really brave.
Yep.
So
I'd love to see a documentary
about the real thing. That would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love that because we loved all of the topics and themes in psychology and the things that we're talking about. But
Right.
the piece itself was just torture.
It was kind of long. Okay. This was from our girl at the Pink Shade Pod. She said, I was featured yet last night. Once again, my second guest role of the year.
We were waiting for your testimonial.
I just want everyone to know, Heather, what have you gotten out of these 2 big guest roles? Last week you were on The Valley, and this week you were on Vanderpump. It's called Little Turkey Sliders. Okay. It's called a past app of a tuna on a crust. It's called Free Apps. And just being excited to be invited to something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went both times, and you would too if you were invited. And not just you, I mean the world. I think I'm thirsty.
We were cut out of
and
the
by
edit,
the way,
though.
I am thirsty. What do you think I'm doing? You think I don't want you to watch me right now?
Yeah.
Don't watch me. I'm just doing this for myself. I don't want anyone to know who I am or go to my shows or listen to my thing. No, don't like my post. I'm not thirsty. I'm just doing this so I can what? What the fuck?
I know.
So anyway, yes, I had fun, and I did get Heather and Jenna, Lala's friends. And but then she wrote, so funny, if I find out next week that Heather banged Jax or went down on Ariana in Tom's car, that would be so juicy. No, I have not hooked up with anyone from the Vanderpump or Valley world, but went to that party, went to that birthday.
We got a good shot of, at the very most intense conversation.
Yeah.
A good shot of you just like with your like
It's like a Cosmo, I
specialty
think.
drink.
What is
Like
a drink? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
slowly taking a
Well,
delicate
when
sip of
you're-
it.
that's why I
when
wanted
you-
the cut, then cut 2, because it was like that, and then cut 2. We were expecting your testimonial. Like there I was sitting at,
Well,
and
yeah, go ahead.
just like
Yeah.
among everyone.
Okay,
and-
well, let me do it right
Yeah,
now.
okay.
Be the producer and ask me anything. I'm just going to do the camera about Lala's birthday party.
What was it like sitting there while they were having that intense
And
conversation?
you know what? Please don't forget to say the question in your answer.
Okay. Well, what I was thinking when I was hearing this intense conversation was, let me put my listening ears on because I don't know what they're talking about. And I don't want to be accused of being thirsty and chime in and sit between the two of them. So instead, I think I talked to Logan, who's one of Lala's best friends. And we actually were just talking about some funny shit. And that was the other thing. Like people were saying, like at the other one, I was talking to Leo, I think, the 2 guys that are her like really good
Yes.
friends. And so I'm like, yeah, if I was really that thirsty, I'd be like chasing the camera around. I think the Valley one, I didn't know was going to be filmed. This one I knew was going to be filmed. She told me it was going to be filmed. And the place was really cute. It was this burlesque place, something gin, bathtub
Gin.
And it was a really fun place to go.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
how was the dancers when they came out?
I loved it.
Did they get completely naked?
Pretty close. No crotch. But
Pasties.
like just like the pasties with like the tassels
Oh.
and like, really curvy, perfect bodies. So, and like it was fun. It's like a fun thing to do. And it was a small room. So it was like was pretty cool.
But they didn't. She didn't have the whole restaurant, just that table.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just were in the middle, and there were just real people there. Like I was like, "Are these extras?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "What a fun night!" You like, and people dressed up like the 20s there, which was interesting because then the next scene is they're in San Francisco doing a 20s night, which they were going literally like the next day to the San Francisco. But let's talk a little bit about how funny the editors are at Vanderpump. Okay, this was Tom's show, and the way they overlaid his dialogue with his show. Listen, his shows are successful. I don't care what anyone says. They're selling out. People are going. If you hate him, whatever. And he's like, it's just amazing, the energy, and to see people just cheering and yelling and so involved. And then they would take the clip where like nobody was
They're on their phones. They're just filming
they're on
it.
their phone. And,
Yeah.
and then like he's like, some of my biggest fans were there. And then like that's his mom. And I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Of course
Yeah.
she's going to be there cheering you on. There's Joe behind. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Schwartz.
So I can't get enough of Joe and her dynamic. And oh wait, I do have a hat here. Hold on. Let me do my Joe hat. Okay. But I mean, they come out there and he's like, Joseph, want to go outside for a minute? And, you know, she's so happy that she bleached his hair blonde, thinking that's going to keep other girls from wanting to be with him. Like that was not, like, but it's going to
you know
also keep clients from you. Yeah.
But it almost worked.
Yeah.
Because he needed to quickly get rid of that hair.
Yeah. And so they come out and she's like, and he goes, oh my God, since we had that conversation on the couch and you were like crying your eyes out because you actually really like me. And she's like, that was awkward. That was awkward. That was awkward. And he's like, Joseph, and she's like, we could just be friends. We could just be friends. And he's like, I'm excited they're going to San Francisco. And she's like, yeah, man, it's going to be so exciting to go to San Francisco. We're going to San Francisco. That's San Francisco. And he's like, I mean, we just have this like mad like friendship chemistry. But, you know, maybe we just, she's like, or we'll just get married in 8 years. 8 years, we get married, we walk down the aisle. He's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You just said we're getting married in 8 years. He's like, no, I didn't. You did. And all I could think about was like,
I can't.
he's going to be 48. If this show, I'm still watching this show.
God.
God bless me if I still have, and he's 48 and marrying Joe. And then they flash back to, we will get married.
That's like her way of hiding too. Like I have chloroform in the car. Like she's gonna like kill him.
She's like, she's very cute, but she has kind of like these flared nostrils.
Yeah.
And really blue eyes. And she's like, I mean, it's fine. Schwartzy, I call him T-Money. It's fine if T-Money like doesn't want to be a couple, but clearly we have more in common than anyone in the world. But I'll just waiting here for him. Did you see that she did a live recently?
No.
No, we
She did a
heard.
live recently, and she was just like, she's watching it, and she's like, yeah, okay, I don't really care, but, and like saying things about like Katie, and I was just like, girl.
Oh, like she's watching the show and she's reacting to the show?
She was like, I can't remember. It was like a story, like she was doing a live and people were asking
She was
questions.
like reading the things, the questions.
Yeah, and
Oh,
she
I
was
see,
basically,
I see,
this was
okay.
it. They said like, did you go down on, or something about BJ's or something? And she goes, yeah, obviously I gave T-Money a BJ. We're in a relationship. Okay. I'm like, oh my God. And then last night we also had to deal with my other worst character.
Oh.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Something About Her. It's Anne. It's Anne, the actual thirstiest assistant in all of the world.
The world.
And hi, they walk in. There's crap everywhere. Yeah, I'm not doing anything. I'm just mic'd up. Fucking clean up the awning. What are you doing? But you're working for them now, Anne. Well, looks like there's a lot for you guys to do. Yeah, that's your job now, Anne.
I can't. When
Yeah.
Anne and Joe are like, I don't know, they're
When
super villain
Joe
evil
first got
criminals.
introduced,
Oh,
her and Tom were at like some taco place or something. It was the first time I met her. And it was like, I thought for sure, hands down, that person is like in comedy.
Anne?
Oh, Anne.
No, absolutely not Anne.
Oh, you mean Joe.
Because
Oh,
she's
Joe.
all doing, she's just, her face, and she's like
Well, doing bits and
doing
shit all
bits
the
and
time.
making these. It was just the way she. Her gestures and everything looked
When
like I would
I-
have sworn she was in comedy.
When they went on the Swan, riding the Swan boats, and all of a sudden she's like, "Did I tell you about my pet turtle?" And I'm like, "Oh, so you've been like literally writing down bits for this moment."
Mm.
And then she said she like walked the pet turtle on a leash, and he's like, "You're hilarious." Yeah, and then it went down a drain. And I'm like, "Wait, this has nothing to do with the Swan. Like, where did this story come from? I know it's edited, but like, no, it's okay, Joe. She's got her hat line. She's still cutting hair.
but she's not a comedian, is she?
No, but she probably will be.
Yeah.
If she.
I mean, she clearly seems like
Billy Lee, and Joe are the new Tres Amigos. Not Joe, yeah. No, wait, Joe and Billy Lee
Yes,
should be the
and-
new Tres Amigos.
Yes.
Vanderpump, peripheral friend style, and they go on tour.
Because that girl's literally in improv, isn't she? The like,
And-
I don't know anything. Yeah, like what's happening in the world? Like you're cutesy,
Yeah.
dumb, acting like you're so sweet. Like I feel as though she's
Yeah.
she'll-
Yes.
I feel as though there's a sinister thing going on with her.
we're not big fans of adorkable.
No.
That's a literal term in casting.
Ugh.
Like, oh, we're looking, you adorkable is like, I'm adorable, but I'm a dork. And it's like,
Yeah.
just fuck off.
Right.
I can't.
Save it.
I actually don't even
Clamp
want you
it
to
up.
be adorable.
No.
Or a dork.
Don't even be adorable.
Don't be either one.
You're an adult. You're not a toddler.
At the end of the show, Scheana has another conversation with Tom. And I thought Scheana said some really good things.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
she
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, about Ariana, she's like, she didn't freeze her eggs. She didn't get a house. She didn't. And one thing that was, for herself, she did that because she believed in this relationship. And one thing that I just think that Ariana in every interview since, the reason she is going to remain successful, in my opinion, outside of this is she really does handle herself with grace. She doesn't throw people under the bus. She's like, yeah, did the relationship have issues? Yeah, it did. But I was involved in the commitment of it. The commitment of it was, even if we're having some issues and it's not perfect, the plan is we're going to make it work. We own this home together. We were planning a life together. And, whether for now the rest of the world to be like, yeah, but they were only screwing this much. It's not, you still don't go cheat with the girl's best friend. And that moment, so that was a really good moment. And then when Ariana talked to Brock, I appreciated
Love
what
that.
Brock was saying, but I loved it when she was like, I'm empowered by my anger. I'm not going to stop being angry. And why is it that guys can rage all the time, but I stick up for myself and, oh my God, move on. It's her fucking house too.
Yeah.
And she wasn't ready to move, and she wasn't going to walk away and possibly get fucked financially by it. End of story.
Yeah.
Brock might have said one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Not for nothing. And
Yeah.
this is not against him personally.
Because it's
I've
a
never
guy,
met him.
Yeah.
But he literally said, I said to Brittany,
And
was
what
like,
did he
I
say?
think what I heard out of his mouth might be one of the top 10 dumbest things a person has ever uttered out of their mouth in all of humanity that's been
But we
in
do like
civilization.
Brock.
I like
No
Brock.
Brock.
But when he said, what are you talking about with male rage? What's male rage?
He said, give me an example. What do you mean? Give me an example of male rage.
You want an example of male rage? Are you dead? Are you kidding me? Do we not live in an alternate universe? I literally just think that was just a brain fart. I don't know what it was, but I think it was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. But regardless.
And I just think she explained herself so well.
Both her and
And
Scheana
Scheana.
were so articulate.
Yes.
Scheana
Yeah.
finally, of all of them, had the first breakthrough
Yeah.
with
Tom.
Tom Sandoval. Because even Schwartz would be like, just say sorry, man. You just got to say sorry.
Yeah.
All those approaches are wrong. And Scheana finally hit because she was coming from compassion and I believe true love and friendship and appreciation for all the things Tom Sandoval has always done for her. She finally was able to explain it to him without making him defensive
Yeah.
and just explain why, and he really saw it. And it was like powerful. We watched the scene like at least 3 times over and over.
I thought she came off great. And yeah, she is sad. And she's a right to be sad that this was like her best male friend on a show for 14 years, and she's so disgusted by him, and that his side piece tried to sue her, threatened to affect, even threatened like child protective services, type of really low down crap that really fucking stressed her out. So like, no. But listen, they are all working together. So the whole thing is we've got to keep showing up and filming together.
Yep.
And again, Ariana's not sitting out. She's going.
Mm-hmm.
She's going and participating. So I don't see what the problem is with that. Like, and if she wants to stay in that house until it was time, now she's out of there. But like, no, she has every right to whatever, stay in her room, stop it. I mean, people do this. It doesn't mean like when Lala said, is really this one, is he really looking at her like, oh, you're the one, you left your man of 10 years, left your man. She didn't leave her man. He cheated with her best friend for 7 months. So that was not cool. I don't agree with that choice of words. Left her, and is still living with him. Get out. It's again, she owns the house. As any lawyer, you don't leave the fucking house. Then you've lost all your power. He could, then, okay, well, the market's gone down. So here's, the equity is now only 100,000. So here's 50.
Right.
And she wasn't going to trust that.
Right. Well, nobody seemed to be also mad at whatever he was doing.
It. You don't know he could have trashed it. You don't know what someone, you're not going to leave.
Well, why weren't people mad? Why aren't they saying the same for him? It's like she got the brunt of, why aren't you leaving the house, Ariana? Well, it was like, well, why isn't Tom leaving the house?
Yeah,
or
Tom,
whatever.
Yeah, Tom should have left the house.
You're the one who cheated. You did the shitty thing. Get the fuck out of the house.
Yeah.
Fine. He's got this. It's the same issue.
Yeah.
When they own the house, blah, 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 blah. But for her to get just like that sexist thing of like, the onus is on her to forgive. It's on her to move. It's on her to move on. It's on her to, and it's like, no.
And then I loved her face because at one time at the birthday party for Lala, Scheana's saying something about Tom or whatever, and Ariana's face was like she's sitting like, why do you want to be his friend? Like, he doesn't give a shit about you. And as someone who's seen that happen with a former friend of ours, and people that are still staying around, and people that are like, oh, he feels bad, you should make up with him. And I'm like, this person tried to ruin my life, career, and relationships. I don't believe him, but I appreciate you coming to me with this, but like, no, I don't believe it.
No.
And that's what Ariana's saying. Like, I think this person has showed himself over and over and over again, this being the crescendo. Why are you mourning this friendship? Like, I get why she's like, why don't you see him for what we all see him for, what the rest of the world see him? So, but I feel that Scheana, in her difficult position, has played it well. At least.
My God. She put it, for in the larger scheme, for anyone who's been in relationships or been cheated on or cheated or whatever, to get to a point that Scheana encapsulated perfectly the point at which people can come to in order for, you want to talk about, that's the moment that she described, that people can move. You either can do forgiveness and because he hasn't humbled himself.
He still hasn't fully
apologized.
He's still mad.
And he's clearly still mad too. He gets very angry.
Yes.
He's mad
calls her lazy.
And he was like, I did this because you made me do it.
Right.
And I did this for this girl who then dumped me.
Yeah.
So he's like, still being like, woe is me, poor me.
He's blaming and he isn't taking full responsibility. And it's okay to say these things contributed to the downfall or me feeling. The thing is, it's like these things contributed to the thing that I chose to do.
Right.
And rather than blaming this person for making me do this.
Yeah.
This made me feel demeaned and low and hurt and unwanted and all of that shit. So I went and I fucking did that, and that's disgusting. So what I did is disgusting.
Right.
But he hasn't gotten there yet. But I think Scheana, you know what I mean?
She said it well.
She said it perfectly.
And I loved the Ariana saying that's outdated therapy.
Yeah.
And
Loved
all
it.
of
All of
these
that.
emotions are part of this and are
Yes.
fine to have for
Yep.
as long as I want to have them.
Right.
The situation has taught me a lot, and we were all three of us in our Tres Amigas friendship had been. This is something we have been like ruminating and discussing throughout like the last year about like sex is really hard to talk about in relationships. It's very awkward. It doesn't matter how long you've been together. And in general, in any relationship, sexual or otherwise, you know, when your needs aren't being met, it's really, really hard to tell the person. So you don't say anything, and then you build up this resentment, and you build it up, and you build it up, and you build it up until you do something that you regret. And even though and it's not just cheating and friendships, and then and after that person or yourself does the thing that you regret, it's really not going to be that easy, if even possible, to repair the relationship because the trust is gone. And Countess Luann de Lesseps said it best when she said, when the trust is gone, the relationship is dead. And it's super hard to get trust back. And so we have made a pact with us in our Tres Amigas to be like, if we're upset about something, if we just have to say it. And it's
And I've already told you to. I don't feel we're having enough sex. Okay, so just to let you know, I don't want to do anything.
Is in trouble.
But I don't want to have to do anything, and I'm gonna try not to. But I am really okay.
I mean, we definitely don't get to
Just
see.
don't leave us for Anne and Joe.
Can you imagine? Okay, sorry. Keep going.
No, that was a perfect button.
Okay, so then we get to the Valley. And the Valley, like I said, is really good. You know, Jax, I want to say this because I've been saying it for a while. And he is emphatic that this rumor that is read on a anonymous website where everyone's anonymous, I'm not even going to say the name of it, can just write anything. Oh, you know, and then, oh, did you hear this? Did you see that? So-and-so said she saw this. Well, where's the screen grab? Why don't you send it? And can you tell me who said it? Oh, well, it's an anonymous person. Then shut up. Like, that should not be a storyline. That should not be shared out, even with cameras on or off, that he cheated. And from everything I heard from the beginning of their breakup, when people didn't think it was real, it did not have to do with any infidelity. Now, am I going to be proven wrong in a year? I don't know. But right now, I believe that it wasn't infidelity. As someone who's been married a long time with kids and know a lot of people that have been in this situation that have worked through tough times or gotten divorced, it is exactly what they're saying. It's like you don't appreciate each other anymore. You're both irritated. You're nervous about your child. You're nervous about money. So the fact that he is that stressed out definitely lowers the libido. And being tired and everything else. And also just knowing that person's going to be there tomorrow. So there isn't a big urgency, right, to bone all the time. And then you realize a long time has gone by. And I love the honesty of it. But in this moment where they go have this like special dinner, he's like, I don't want to have another kid right now. And she's like, but our plan was to. And she's a girl of a certain age. I think she's over 35. So like, you know, you want to get that going. And you know, with everything they're going through, I think he wants to know like the real diagnosis of his child and how, and also what we're not seeing is that he's also like, is the Valley going to be a hit or a dud? He's filming the show after being off TV for 2 years. He's got the bar. So he's like, I don't know if the bar is going to be a dud. I don't know if the show's going to be a dud. I don't know what's going on with Little Cruz, if this is just a little milestone blip, a little behind, or if it's something more, you know, that's going to require more funds.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that is really, and I also get her that she's like, well, my plan wasn't just to have one kid.
Yep.
So what are you saying? You know, so I think that their problems in showing it are real. And again, it should not be based on anonymous people talking on the internet.
When we first heard before the show had premiered that they had sort of like separated, I never, ever, ever thought that it was infidelity. I didn't. And that's just Jax. Jax is hot. Every girl, you know, but that doesn't mean that that's what it was. And this show has really, I mean, we saw them, we all did, but we were on the same flight with them to BravoCon. And that was in October. So they split up when was that, December that we heard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she told us they were actively trying to have a kid, still, and that was in October. If he is not having sex with her, then they can't have a kid. And she really wants one. And if he's scared.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. Like a guy, I mean.
She is saying that she feels she's being treated like shit.
And they're having little arguments that are normal. Like, this is too loud in here. Get out. Let's get outside. And then he's like, do you know where my glasses are? And she's like, do you want me to find your glasses or do you want me to leave? Like, we've all been there where it's like too many things. Like, do this, then do that. Well, where do you do it? And it's just domestic, getting along, little simple fights, And, but it's like, so last night, so he told me he was a big hockey fan. And my cousin plays for the Boston Bruins.
Wow.
My cousin's son, so my second cousin. And Charlie McAvoy. And anyway, he said a while ago, I go, maybe I can get you something for your bar. So I was going through and I follow we call him Little Charlie. I'm following Little Charlie because dad is Charlie. So I'm following Little Charlie's wife now. And I DM her and I go, any chance you're like a fan of the Vanderpump Kids or Jax Taylor? And she's like, yeah, we all love it and watch it. I go, do you think it's possible, he's a good friend of mine, to get something from that? And she's like, yeah, let me see. Right now it's the season, but let me see. So then he texts me. He's like, I'm with Charlie McAvoy's wife. He's at the game. And he's like, she's such a sweet girl. And he sends me a photo of a couple of the wives and him at the game. I'm like, okay, so now is someone going to say Jax was flirting with the, at a game with a bunch of hot women? Not at all the case. Literally talking to his friend. This is a relative of mine. But I'm like, that's the way sometimes these stupid things start. And it's just like, ugh, I hate that it's part of what we're watching now. It's annoying.
I will say, though, and we love Jax, that he also, unfortunately, has a reputation that precedes him.
Yes.
So not just that he's hot, it's that he has cheated
Which
multiple
he
times.
admits.
So, yeah, which he admits and which he says, and that I did appreciate when he said it. He's like, these things are gonna follow me for the rest of my life because I deserve it.
But what I'm saying is that because he's hot, which he gets requested on Cameo the most. He's always on the front page. Shout out, we're all on Cameo. Heather got us on. So he's always on the front page. We could see he has hundreds a day. That's because he's hot. Because he's hot when he's out and he's so popular, all the girls want pictures with him.
Yes.
So he either has to say, I can't be photographed with a woman anymore because all the douchebags on the website that won't be mentioned.
Yeah, should do the Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Where you don't touch anybody. Yeah.
And it sucks. That particular website, while it can be fun, it is very, very toxic. The only real thing that's fun is when people put up the worst pictures of them ever taken, and they're hilarious. But it's like the website has turned in the gerbil and Richard Gere's butt from a rumor that probably took 5 years to circulate into it will circulate and be fact, in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but an urban legend. I mean, but it's creating urban legends at like lightning speed that just become fact.
Right. Anyway, I thought it was really real. Of course, we see what's going on with the other couple, and the other couple is getting divorced. They're definitely separated. What's her name? Melissa? Wait, is that her name? Michelle and the guy.
Jesse.
Jesse. And he has a new girlfriend who is from the OC. And according to this is from Bravoholics, but it's from Daily Mail. But from another thing I saw, I think it was Bravo and Cocktails, said the rumor is that, one article reads she wants nothing to do with reality TV. She's a socialite from the OC. She's into charity work. And the other one said, on good sources, who knows, that she has tried out for Real Housewives twice of OC.
Interesting.
They can go. Why do they move to selling Sunset OC and be a real estate couple, and he stops doing real estate with Michelle?
Yeah.
And Michelle has some new boyfriend. who's some like divorced dad exec, whatever. They went all out to dinner. So
And was it the boyfriend that she had during the show?
we don't know if it's that boyfriend or someone else. But I thought that was really juicy when he goes, this rumor now that's going around that Kristen said that you might have somebody else or texting inappropriately or whatever. We now see that Kristen said she had a boyfriend for a year. He's like, I don't know. I look back at when you went out with girls, and he's like, I have a friend that every time we go to dinner, we have to do the boomerang. So he's like, and all of a sudden you have a girls' night and no photo, no margarita boomerang, no anything. And she's like, yeah, do you like your smoothie? Like, it was just like, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, he's seeing it. He knows it. It's his insecurity. And again, I just appreciate the rawness. And then, of course, the other guy, father, husband of the year, with the 3 kids and the beautiful wife going through postpartum. I mean, if he could not be a nicer dude. I'm telling you right now, if that guy turns out to be a douche, I can't. I can't.
It's a wrap.
He's too nice.
It's done.
What about her? She is just
so
a saint.
So vulnerable, beautiful, wonderful. Again, love the fucking honesty of this show.
Yeah,
I do
so
wish
good.
one thing.
Yeah.
I do wish with the postpartum couple, I do wish that they would give her the space to. I wish that they weren't because she's crying in just normal conversations, and it's so sweet and touching, and but it's like the producers are sitting them down at the table and being like, okay, guys, we're now going to discuss,
At the sushi place?
yeah, you guys discuss Kristen and how nobody wants her around. And then this girl's just like, I can barely get through this dinner. And I'm like, let them sit and talk about, instead, let her at least have a scene with the other women on the show where she can cry and get it out and talk about postpartum, not just with her husband.
Yeah, but she is. I think we're seeing that.
I just want to see scenes with her, with the girls, about her.
Yeah.
Because so far with just the girls, it's been about other people's drama.
Right.
That she's very uncomfortable and very overly, sensitive. And she's like, we're leaving. We don't want to be a part of this.
I have to say, when I went to the Valley party celebrating Jack's ball spot, I looked at the people and they were all very nice and I met them all. And I was like, who knows what this show's going to be like? Like, I kind of was like, who are these people?
Yep.
Yeah.
What makes them interesting? And just the surprise of the fucking spring is this show.
It really is.
And
So
I hope
good.
they all stay. And I hope we see them date. I hope we see them co-parent. I hope maybe they're good examples of whatever we can come from. Jax and Britney are so entertaining as themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're funny when they don't know that they're being funny. And like, I'm just like,
Good old accidentally funny.
Yeah.
they're like, and just, so it's all good.
I will
So
let me say
good.
something
Yeah.
about Vanderpump.
What?
Last week was, I thought, super interesting. I think it was last week. Is that when the James brunch and then Jax does a little, Vanderpump crossover because James had the brunch at Sir, right? Or wherever. And Lisa's sitting there waiting on Jax, and then Jax comes in and sits down, and she's like, don't sit. And he's like, wait, should I not sit? Should I stand? I'm like, is he already drunk? I don't know. But
Wait, you be Jax and I'll be her, okay? Hello, Jax. I mean, come on. You go on a podcast and you say I'm superfluous. I mean, what? I mean, I've known you forever.
I wouldn't use that word. I don't even know what that means. Everybody knows I don't have higher than a 3rd grade education.
Well, I mean, okay, it means that I'm irrelevant. I'm not irrelevant. I mean, look at me. I'm opening Wolf in Lake Tahoe, the sexiest restaurant in all of Nevada.
Well, you haven't reached out to you. I haven't heard from you, Lisa. You haven't reached out to me or Brittany in
No,
years.
you have. I haven't heard from you at all.
Oh, you
Where
just.
have you been, Lisa? Where have you been, Lisa? Where have you been?
Brittany, I'm very busy. I have a little grandchild too, and he had a party, and I forgot to invite both of you with your child.
Makes us feel superfluous. I don't want to feel that way with you, Lisa. I have my son
How's your
and Chris.
your beer cheese, your grandmother's beer cheese?
You mean Meemaw's cheese?
Yes, I mean, come
You
on.
know everyone loves it. Are you going to serve it up in Tom Sandadoo-doo? Whatever it's called.
I don't know.
Why don't you serve it up?
I don't know all about that, but at the Wolf in Lake Tahoe, the sexiest restaurant.
You can serve me mouse cheese at Wolf.
Oh, well,
But
okay.
this is the
I
thing-
thought that was funny.
The
but
thing about that I thought was so interesting is that
he's hurt. Well, sorry to interrupt, but he's hurt because they kicked him off the show and he didn't feel like he should have been kicked off the show.
and then he
for
never
2
heard from
years.
Lisa.
Yeah.
And now that he's got the Valley going, now all of a sudden he's allowed to go back onto Vanderpump. But what I thought was interesting with Vanderpump, and this is where like I really hope the evolution of Bravo is going to let this happen.
Yeah.
That was one of the first times that you hear her being like, you said I was irrelevant on the show and superfluous, and then they had to look up the definition of superfluous, and he really didn't know that word, and then I think they might have played the clip, and he didn't say that because he didn't know what that meant.
Right.
He'd never heard of it, but she was talking about. She's like, I think the only one irrelevant on the show was you. And I think we've made that clear. And it was all about the show. And they never do that. They always, I think the only one irrelevant in the friend group is you. The only one irrelevant at the restaurant was you. They never reference the TV show on the show. And I want it to start
Because
going.
remember, that was the fight where he's like, this is my show.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, your show. And, technically, no, it is. It's called Vanderpump Rules. It's her show. It started because her. But he was the number one guy in the group.
He was.
And he was the one that kept it going all these years with his crazy antics and his, from stealing the sunglasses to sleeping with people. But, so, I mean, he's, hurt and pissed by that whole thing. And he's, had a difficult relationship with his mother. So I'm sure he was very close to her for a long time. And then you get kicked off the show and this mother figure doesn't, in his opinion, reach out to him. And, Tamara just said from OC, that Shannon didn't reach out to her when Tamara got kicked off the show. She wasn't reaching out to Vicky when Vicky wasn't on the show. Listen, it's just like if you worked at any office. I was at a very interesting dinner with a bunch of women last night. And this girl goes, look, once you leave the job, no one talks about you 2 weeks later. And maybe definitely more so on a reality show if you're especially storyline. They bring up Bethany Frankel, they bring up Rachel Raquel. But the truth is, people don't not everybody a lot of people, that's it. You're not at the job anymore, that's it.
Yep.
And even though our job was pretending to be friends, I don't care. You're not on the job. That's it.
Yep.
And if someone wants to point out, like, you weren't a real friend, job or not, point it out. Say it.
And that happened with Nene and Portia too. When Nene came back, she had gone on and said, or Portia had said fire Nene, or Nene had said fire Portia, and they were like, nobody called me. You were off running around doing The Apprentice, leaking and you didn't call me when I got put on pause. And it always now we all got to be worried that somebody's coming back to the job and at least stay friends with them.
Yeah, well, I know, but it's always just like if you get put on pause or get kicked off, it's like you have the ultimate stink on you.
Yeah.
And you're also, it wasn't real. Like the friendship wasn't real when someone just completely blows you off. And, I'm not on a reality show, but I've definitely had people just completely blow me off because they thought I had some stink on me. And I was like, oh, okay, we're not on, I didn't know we were on The Real Housewives of Podcasting, but it's true. You really don't care. So, okay.
When Jax walked in, though, to that scene, we were living when he confronted Tom or whatever. And it was like, how are you, man?
Tom.
Oh, I'm good, man. How you doing? You look good, man. Oh, you look good too, except those white nails. You should probably get rid of those. Like I was, like mustache and stuff. Like
and then he's like, you look better now because for a while you're looking like you're 50.
Yeah, it was amazing. He is so, and that just does show that he's the number one guy of the group because he has been maybe you think you got stink on him, but he walked in there and he owned everyone in under a minute.
Yeah.
And that thing with Jax is that that's why he's so great.
He's so funny.
Well, whatever goes on with them as a couple, we'll see. They were at the White House dinner together, Britney and Jax.
We heard that.
Good.
This is an insane story that just came out. It's a very long article from the Boston Globe, and it's by Patricia Wen. And there was this woman who they found out she was in the 7th grade, and she was being bullied. The school found out she was being bullied from her social worker because she was a foster care kid living with her foster care parents. And she's being bullied by these other kids because they said, you look old. And the school was predominantly children of color, whatever, Mexican, Black. And she was white. And they'd be like, white cracks and you look old and everything. And turns out she was 30. and has a graduate degree in social.
In fact, she must have looked damn good. It turns out she doesn't look old. She looks very young.
Yeah. And so they go deep dive with her. She came from a middle class home. She went to college. She got a master's degree. She was making over $50,000 a year in social work. And then she created a email account with like one letter off, like edu or whatever, education or whatever, social services, one little thing, and then got herself in 3 different schools and was living with this couple that was like her counselor as a foster kid, which was also inappropriate that woman would have taken her on. This couple, she said her story was that she was trafficked and a foster kid, and she got braces at 30, which then kind of made her look a little younger, and she'd wear hoodies and this and that. And she was then writing letters as her social, what do you call it?
Like a social worker?
Her social worker counselor, and saying that she's being bullied by the kids in the school to the principal. And so the principal was like, oh my God, let me look into this. And then when she looked into it, she was like, wait a minute, this isn't the right email from the social worker people for when we have a foster child here. And then some people were like, yeah, we tried to be friends with her. And sometimes we see her driving to school. And like, what? And it's like the little person that was the Russian Natalia Grace, but she's not. And so then they go deeper into the story of like what makes someone want to do this. And the con artist that pretends to be a child is a whole nother grifter type, because whatever they tell you, most people will believe a child, that they were trafficked or they were abused or whatever. So there's a new grift of like, if I can look younger. She's not the first one that's done this. There was another girl that tried to was in her 30s. This girl was 32, trying to act like she's in middle school to get attention.
Is that all it is? What's the grift? Do they get money from
No,
something?
they don't really get money. It's the grift of control and attention, and maybe wanted to relive your childhood.
And so she wasn't doing an experiment. She wasn't writing a book.
No.
She wasn't doing Never Been Kissed.
Never Been Kissed. She wasn't
doing
60 days in lockup.
Or 30 from 13 going on 30. She wasn't doing any of that. But the name that she chose was one of the names she chose was a character in one of those movies. Either 13 going on 30 or the one where you switch with your mom or whatever.
I mean, she could have accidentally gotten switched.
Oh my God,
like
what if Freaky Friday's real?
So that's what I'm saying. She chose the name Freaky Friday. Whatever.
Magical statue. Yeah.
And so her attorney's like, look, she's mentally ill, so therefore, like, she should be, forgiven. But like, her story was always changing, that, both her parents died. She was trafficked. She was afraid of people.
But she did get to live somewhere for free.
Well, yeah, she was living with this couple, but while posing as a child, while also posing as her own social worker, going into different. And at one point, the foster care dad, they're a little suspicious of him. He then came in and is like, I'm pulling her out of this school. We're going to Catholic school now. And they're like, okay, but there's like a week left of school. Like, this is so weird. And she tried to get into this other school. Like, it is the most bizarre. And there is this part of like, where you're like, oh my God, if I could just go back knowing everything I know now and go back. There was those moments when you were like older and you're like, oh my God, if I could just go back in high school, like.
Yeah, you'd own everyone because you're all idiots.
And then just like how you like, like think about different things of like what a guy said to you and you're rethinking about like, what? I wonder if he's thinking about this. Now that I'm raising teenage boys, guess what? They're not thinking about anything. They're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about you in the way that you think they're thinking about you.
Yeah.
They're not. Like, that is what I've learned. Like, I can't, if I knew what I knew now back as a young girl, oh my God, I would trust
What's going through their minds? Just food, tits, video games.
Yeah, just like.
That's it.
Yeah, like just.
Whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I got to play Overwatch.
Yeah, not like this long, not this, moment from Say Anything with the thinking about you. We have to be together. Here's the music. No, they're not. Save yourselves the trouble, girls.
Yeah, and tell your teenage daughters they're idiots and they're not thinking about anything.
No, just have your fun and move on. They're saying Best of Bravo took this article from Daily Mail by Heidi Parker. The scoop is that Dorit, that allegedly PK has moved out of the house, and that if she does not share the truth about her marriage, she will be either kicked off or demoted as a friend. And then there's other reports it's like she's already been demoted as a friend. And I don't know why she wouldn't share. Why not share that you're having trouble in your marriage? Watch The Valley and see why it's good. And if you want out of this marriage, maybe, like, this is the way to do it. Let the world know it's hanging by a string.
Yep.
And who wants to grab up this hot patati? Like, she could totally get another hot rich guy.
Oh,
I mean,
easily.
she speaks multiple languages. She has multiple accents. And it'd be like, she's like, well, it's been really hard with Phoenix and Jagger, mind you. But PK, he's just down the street in the Beverly Hills Hotel, and we like to get the McCarthy salad, and we have fun, and we're working on it and co-parenting, and he's so special that I just want to know. Wait, your accent went out.
I mean, I wonder. One, it made me think too when talking about The Valley and how much they reveal. It was making me think like the dream of like Scheana and Brock going over there with their 2 kids. I see the dream dying a little bit for any of these other people transferring over to The Valley, because a lot of the people on Housewives and Vanderpump, they are very guarded with their relationships, and a lot of the stuff they do, even just look at Tom and Ariana, they keep it behind closed doors and they act like they have no problems. And even when Scheana and Brock had that little fight in the bikini store, which was chef's kiss, I'm like, just been there. You're like fighting in the middle of like a store, and she's in bikinis, which you're already hating yourself. That's already just, don't even come with me to the bikini store, okay? And of course I'm going to get in a fight with whoever's there. But she wanted to like him to, she kept saying, stop talking, stop talking, stop talking.
Yeah.
Whereas on The Valley, I'm sure they're just like, well, you just keep talking because this
I mean,
is
that
what we're
was
here
another
for.
great moment where he's like, I want a nanny, I want a nanny, we get a nanny. And she's like, I don't want a nanny. And, at this dinner that I was at last night, it was all working moms. Everyone was a working mom. Some single, some divorced, single by choice moms, some married. And we were all, and somehow we got on this story of how this woman told the story about how she was working for this company and it was just so intense. And her 7-year-old boy kept, she said, today we'll do something fun. And he kept coming in and she had to keep working. And then finally at 7 p.m, he was like, you said we were going to do something fun. And she started to cry about, the kid is 20 years old in college and she remembers that mom guilt. And I remembered the story of when I forgot the napkins at the school and the woman was like, you forgot the napkins. And I burst into tears and we're all talking. And I said, there is not a table with a group of men in all of the world having this conversation about dad guilt. It does not fucking exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't mean they're bad dads. It doesn't exist because they're not mothers. And that's
true.
that's it. You're never going to get at Brock why she feels this way. And maybe she'll change as Summer Moon gets older. But some people are just never going to be on the same page about something like that with parenting and just accept it, as the dude. But we'll see what happens with them. Drew Barrymore had Kamala Harris on.
Oh, wow.
VP. And people said it's going viral because she's getting real close. It is such a funny clip. So Kamala's there doing her thing, and she's getting so close. She says, I just feel that the world needs a big hug right now. We need you to be Mamala.
Oh.
And I don't know if she made up that word or
No.
that's what her stepkids call her, right?
Yeah.
Mamala. But she was like, oh, yeah. I always got along with, my stepchildren's mother, and she said it very nicely. They seem to have the dream co-parenting situation, but it was just people were like, and the comments are like, who cares? Politics aside, no, just no with the mamala.
Yeah.
But I thought it was. I still thought it was a good interview.
Do you think that her people or the pre-interview people or anyone got permission for Drew Barrymore to invade the space? Are her shoes on
To
or
sit
off?
that close.
Yeah,
I think they know what I think the guests know what they're getting into, and I think they say, "I'm sure you've seen the show. You know Drew's style. if you have like a germaphobe or something situation or invading of the space, we need to know about it now. And if we do, then you probably can't come on the show.
Yeah, because also generally too, vice president or president, you just can't touch them. Like they have like a distance you need to be from them.
Unless these people,
I don't know.
I mean, Drew Barrymore sits like that and gets, within kissing distance of people because she apparently was babysat by every single famous person that's ever walked the earth. I'm like, how is that person your babysitter? But
Robert De Niro, I call him Uncle Bobby, was so amazing. We would play Legos. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, exactly. But you're not friends with Kamala Harris. You maybe have met her once or twice. It's just a little. I think
that people saying like have a little more.
It's
like
a little bit disrespectful.
This isn't Cameron Diaz.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That you actually are really buddies with. I thought I'm thoroughly entertained by her. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then Ross asked, "What's your?" You worked at I worked at McDonald's and you worked at McDonald's, and hope to God someone check that out. But imagine if she really didn't work at McDonald's and she's saying it, but apparently she has worked at McDonald's. And so he's like, "What's your go-to order?" Which reminded me of the J-Lo bodega saga, and she seemed to answer, well, quarter pounder with cheese and fries. Okay, whatever. And but I was like, I need to know, was McDonald's a sponsor of the Drew Barrymore show?
Oh, that's a good question.
But also Ross is into food, and Ross did work at McDonald's. So if that was, what a perfect advertising circle.
Wow.
And I don't know why no one's asked Heather McDonald to be a sponsor for McDonald's.
Oh,
good one.
I don't understand why I'm not getting the McDonald's. I do like McDonald's. I think there's a lot of fun, different, healthy choices. Quarter pounder cheese was my go-to in high school. Yeah. And then with the kids, I liked those chicken wraps.
Oh.
I love quarter pounder with cheese
Me
too.
I do
We're
too.
all with Kamala
best
Harris.
Fries and also the best fountain sodas around town. Just got 2 of them yesterday. The best fountain sodas.
Diet Coke.
Well, Diet Coke or Coke, but the best, if you are into fountain sodas, you're a fountain soda type of person, the best fast food fountain soda is McDonald's.
I've heard that numerous places.
I don't know why. It's perfect.
I'm sure there's a TikTok explaining why it's so good. Ariana Bierman, Kim Zolciak's daughter. This was last week and I forgot to talk about it. But Kim and Tamara and Vicky do these clickbait things.
Yep.
Here's one of them right now. This is Tamara. Breaking news. Teresa confirms heartbreak update with Louis. It could be that his Twitter account was down for a day. I don't know what this is, but it's not that they're broken up, okay? Do the swipe up. So Kim Zolciak did one with she and Croy and said, R.I.P. Croy, okay? And so, of course, he's not dead. We wouldn't know about it before her clickbait. And then Ariana, her daughter, did this whole TikTok that went viral where she was like, I can't. These things that the Gen Zs do with their hands, I can't. Mocking it, what are you doing, Mom? This is ridiculous. And everyone's like, at least Ariana gets it. And I wrote, Ariana's fucking in on this. Ariana knows that clickbait pays the bills. This is going to make you click it. It's going to make you click it. I still don't know what it is, though. Someone must have clicked it finally. But she is in on this thing that her mom does and these stupid clickbait things.
She's doing a clickbait with that.
Yeah.
Her response to it.
Yeah. So annoying. Pauly Shore is heartbroken because he looks so much like
it's amazing.
Richard Simmons. He's been wanting to play him in a movie for years. He's been trying to get it going. Do you guys remember many years ago there was this actress? She kind of disappeared after this. I had to look it up. Her name was Sean Young, and she really wanted to be Catwoman. She thought she was great for it. She was definitely not at the level of stardom to get Catwoman at the time because these movies were so big. But she showed up at Warner Brothers, I think, without any audition set, wearing the Catwoman outfit. And it was just a very cringy, embarrassing thing. Now, Pauly Shore does look so much like Richard Simmons, and he very much wants to play the role. I think he's got to put on those nylons and the shorts and really start doing the impression in places. And because Richard Simmons doesn't want it. So Pauly Shore is like, look, it's not going to be Brad Pitt. It's not going to be Tom Cruise. Why? And he's like, I'm crying right now. Why does he not? And he's like, I want to do my own movie. Richard Simmons is like, I want to do my own movie. And I don't want you to be in it. And I'm all for Pauly Shore being him. I want to see his impression. Like I want to see him in the outfit.
I thought he
doing
made a sizzle.
Did he make a
I'm
sizzle?
under the
Okay.
impression that he made an actual, and he went to Sundance and like tried to like get someone to make a biopic about Richard Simmons, and he made a whole thing. He called up Howard Stern. He was like, I want to be Richard Simmons. Look at my sizzle. Like he's trying to actively
This is the documentary we need to see. Becoming Richard Simmons.
Right.
And everything he does, and see, if it's weird, if it's crazy, if it's funny, maybe the impression isn't that great.
He said
he
he would be compassionate. He would really do his best. I mean, the pitch that he has been doing to be Richard Simmons.
I want to see the Richard Simmons story. I want to see his childhood. I want to see when he wore the nylons. I want to see how he got on all those talk shows. I want to see when he did the dancing to the oldies, the VHS tapes. I want to see if he got financially fucked over. I want to see when he went missing and that podcast became crazy and everyone thought he was missing.
Yep. See him hugging all the women, calling all the women. He calls like 50 women a day.
Yeah.
He literally gets up, calls woman after woman after woman. And we want to see
No, how are you doing? How's your weight loss? How's your family? How's your health?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because even on Howard Stern, Gary said when his mom was going through something, and Richard Simmons would like call his mom during his list. He has a huge list, and he just calls these women. That's why it's so sort of strange that he's changed with that. But
I want to see it, and I want him to be able to see it and enjoy it while he's on this earth. I don't think it should be after he's gone. I think he should be able to participate in it. I think Pauly Shore should play the role, and they should work together.
Yeah.
Well, and that goes along with my thing that I want to do, which is when I'm terminally ill, say that I die, like I have died like 2 or 3 days before I'm probably going to die.
Yeah.
So that I can just sit and enjoy it and then die.
Oh, and then see everybody come by and everything.
Well, no, not see everyone come by
Like at the
because they'll
funeral,
think I'm
the
dead.
headlines, the
I'll get to
comments.
see all the
the
packages
press.
that everybody makes, and you get to enjoy it. I mean, because
yeah, you're right.
we had a friend pass away, a drag queen, Lady Red, and there is no way that she would ever have known like the amount of
Love and
fanfare and celebrities and
How she affected people.
Yeah.
And, and especially when Richard Simmons knows, but there's definitely a darkness there and like a loneliness and an emptiness, which,
I want to
especially
see.
feeling that maybe.
I want to see Pauly Shore get nominated for an Oscar too, because he probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make that happen. Now, listen, this is huge. People are now making over $70,000 a year selling reservations to Carbone and other exclusive restaurants in New York City. This girl calls up. She gets the reservation. She's had to, change her name and do different voices and accents. And then on a different site, you can buy them. And people like Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, who I saw over the weekend. Hey, guys. They buy it. A lot of people buy them for, $1,000 just to get the reservation because that's where they want to go. They're in New York. That's the one place they want to eat. And people are able to make this money selling these reservations. And you guys are kind of good at that. Of getting the reservations?
Yeah. I mean, Mass is really, I always love that. You always need that income stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to
side hustle.
I'm going to do golf karting at Coachella, and I'm about to start fucking Julie's reservations service.
Although I want to use this too, because if you just want to go there and you're only there for however many days, we luckily went to like a place in Paris that you couldn't get into, but I would spend $1,000 to go.
Well,
for sure.
It's interesting that they don't even normally like a Nobu or whatever, I thought always has like 5 tables saved for like their best people or if a big star does come. Right. But I guess they're so popular that they don't even have it. If you don't have a reservation, you don't have a reservation, Machine Gun Kelly. You don't have we just don't like get rid of people. So
oh God, we got to start doing this.
Yeah.
But I every time I'm in New York, I'm always like, I would like to go to Carbone. I would like to go to Cipriani. I'd like to go to these places everyone talks to, and I never do. Because it's
Well-
like an impossible thing, and it's not about celebrity that gets you in, really, because it's so demanding.
Which is interesting that you want to
It's
go to
the dollar.
Cipriani's. I mean, it's funny that
is it
yeah,
possible
might
that
be
you might
possible.
have a reservation?
We're going to sell it now. Unfortunately, we're going to be selling that.
Meghan Markle's dear friend, Sophia Trudeau, the wife of the president of Canada, they used to be very good friends. And recently she was asked about a relationship with Meghan, who she's not mentioned or taken any photos or anything because Meghan had the stink on her. And she said, I know her. That was it. Tell us about you and Meghan's relationship. And she goes, I know her. So there's either who, I don't know them, or I know him.
Yeah.
Is the new response of no response.
That's great. It's almost better than, who are you talking about? I've never.
Yeah, well,
I
wait,
don't-
what was the Mariah Carey one? I don't know her. The Mariah Carey one is I don't know her. And now this is I know her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, do you know, what do you think of Jennifer Lopez? I thought she just went, who? Oh, and then she said, I don't know her.
Yeah. She said, I don't know
But
her.
like, oh, who? Jennifer Lopez, she's a singer. Oh, yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
And then just,
Speaking about Scoop and everything that was going around this weekend that was not true, there was a story that said Chelsea Handler was going to join Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And so many people sent it to me. So many, different bloggers and stuff picked it up. And it just started. Someone just said it. Some random person just said it, made it up on the internet, on one of these platforms. And, and they're like, oh, and everyone's like contemplating. I'm like, someone just anonymously saying something should not be news. Like there's no...
nope.
It's just, and all these people got their clicks and got to post it. And then she put it out there the next day on her stories. Not true.
She spent a whole day getting nothing but free publicity. So I started thinking maybe she put it out.
Oh.
Because everyone was talking about it. That's why I didn't send it to you, because I knew you were at Stagecoach, fucking hobnobbing with Kristen Cavallari. And I was like, let me not bother Heather with this bullshit. I'm sure her phone is already blowing up.
Well, I say never. You never know.
Yeah.
You never
Also
know
true.
where someone's like, fuck it, I'll do it, whatever. I mean, my first thought was like, no way, because she never even wanted them on the show. And I was like the only person watching it and dying for it to do it, writing the parodies, anything that we could have them be on. I was so thinking like this, you guys, you don't realize how funny this is and how weird this is. And she just wasn't into it at all. But doesn't mean she's maybe couldn't get into it now. I mean, it just wouldn't make sense. And I think it would be beneath her at this point. But who's
You
to
never
say
know.
in 5 years?
You never know.
Yeah. If she's not bi-coastal, right?
And it's not like you have to be married or have kids anymore to be a housewife. That's not even a part of it.
No.
She's not bi-coastal. She's
okay. She would be better on New York than she would be. I
It would
think.
be so weird for her. There's no way that she would just like sit back and play along. Like it would be so fun to watch.
Yeah.
It would be so
really
fun to
watch.
watch. The Swifts. Oh, the Swifts, as if he's gonna take her name. Travis, Kelsey, and Taylor Swift were in Carmel with Bradley Cooper and Gigi, enjoying a fun time. And it was his mom who spilled the beans while selling some stuff on QVC.
Always, wait, was it Travis Kelce's mom or Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper?
No, Travis Kelsey's
Oh, okay.
mom.
Yeah.
And then they went off, and now she's going on another trip with him, and the Brittany Mahomes are doing another double date with this other couple. And then I came across this couple. Mark Consuelos confesses to Kelly Ripa that he recently kissed another woman. Talk about clickbait, E-News. Apparently on the show, he says all this, and it was his grandmother on her cheek.
Oh God, I hate when they do that. I hate it.
And
I hate that.
some of the comments are so funny. This person wrote, what saddens me is that this used to be a real power couple in the entertainment business. They kept their family and relationship private for years. Now they're looking for the public to ruin their marriage by talking nonsense as a joke. Just look at Kyle Richards and Mauricio. Can't see myself being married for almost 3 decades and throw it all away for years for a fake storyline that will hurt my children and family, all for the views and attention. That's just this girl, Sammy Lopez, 4158. But I just thought, I don't really see them as a Kyle and Mauricio. But look,
No.
he, it ended with Ryan Seacrest. He became her partner
Mm-hmm.
on the show. The producers must be like, this is what gets people watching. They love your banter. They love this and that. But it is so annoying hearing about their sex life or that they were cheated. Like, this isn't cheating, but it's not a lie. He said, and I guess the way he revealed it was like people were like, "What?" And it was like, "My grandma."
I hate that joke. I hate that joke across the board. I can't stand it. It's the same joke, and it's the same family joke, the same family of jokes as.
Yeah.
And here's the most beautiful woman in the world. I can't get enough of her. My mother.
Yeah.
Like, just cut the shit. You didn't kiss another woman. The most beautiful in the world isn't your fucking grandmother. That whole thing is so cheesy, so corny. I can't stand it. When I tell you, like, it sounds irrational, but I loathe it. Like, I loathe it.
It definitely sounds irrational.
I loathe it as like a bit. I loathe it as a piece of comedy. I loathe it as a cutesy thing to do. It's like it's
adorkable.
You're not cute because you said you kissed another woman and it's your grandma. Like, I can't take it. I hate its guts.
I'm telling you, it's adorkable.
It's adorkable.
Well, here's for our last little bit of scoop. So Barbra Streisand commented under Melissa McCarthy's latest post saying, "You look great. Did you go on Ozempic?" And everybody then attacked Barbara. "How dare you?" Melissa has said, "It doesn't matter. I love her. Who cares?" Other people are like, "Yeah, she did. But also not your business." So what's your opinion?
Also, clarification, the actual comment was, "Say hi to Michael Shankman. Are you on Ozempic?"
Yeah, and no punctuation either.
No punctuation.
She didn't even put a period.
That sounds like something Kathy Hilton would do. Remember when Kathy Hilton pretended not to know that by commenting wasn't her daughter's text?
Yeah, and which is
she's like, I thought commenting under something was texting you. No, you didn't, Kathy Hilton.
Well, that's what Barbra Streisand basically said.
But Barbra Streisand's 82, so I believe Barbra Streisand more than...
Yeah, and I believe she just... It's like when, people do it. They think they're sending a DM and they accidentally do a post. Like, that's how, like, Anthony Weiner got caught cheating on his wife.
True.
But, like, she's like, for a second, she just, like, thought she was in the DMs.
Yeah.
And was in the comment section. But
Barbra Streisand is every Jewish mother, okay? Like, if you don't think that any Jewish mother is going to be like, "Say hi to Michael. Are you on Ozempic?" Thank you. Yes, that is life.
It's working for you.
Yeah, it is everything. It is everything. And Melissa McCarthy is so lucky that she has that for the rest of her life.
Yes.
That Barbra Streisand said, "Are you on Ozempic?" I would die.
Julie's obsessed with Barbra Streisand.
I love Barbra Streisand.
Who
I don't
doesn't?
care. She can say anything she wants.
Did Melissa McCarthy
like the corners of my mind of you in that green dress, Melissa? Are you on Ozempic? I know I don't sound like her, and I'm not trying to do an impression.
And yet I closed my eyes and I said,
Who's that songbird?
"Who's that seamstress?"
If we could all have it once again.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did Melissa McCarthy answer?
Could we? Should we? Memories. Yeah, she didn't answer her there, but recently a reporter went up. She's like, "We're great. Like, leave it alone. We're fun."
And the answer is yes, she is on Ozempic.
Yes, of course she is.
Obviously, as we all would be, or if we could.
At this point, just stop asking.
Yeah.
Because if you're breathing, you're on it.
You know what's interesting is
you know what Ozempic is like, if you're not on the actual Ozempic, you're like, "No, I'm not, because I'm on Wegovy."
Right.
Yeah, I'm on semaglutide.
It's like when somebody would say back in the day, "Are those acrylic nails?" And they'd say, "No, because they're mine underneath."
Yep.
No, those are acrylic nails.
Yes, exactly.
But
Those
also-
of course they're going to grow underneath. You have a big hard shell on top.
We have seen the growth in the last year. We've watched Ozempic and whatever.
Yeah.
Go, and the level of weight loss that
Yeah.
we've seen from hundreds of thousands of people who have lost weight due to these weight loss drugs. However, according to all of them, none of them are on it.
Yeah.
So it's just an odd thing that we are now living in a time when all of these weight loss drugs are around. Everyone is this miracle drug. Everybody's losing weight. We're watching everybody lose weight who don't work out, and then or whatever,
And we're never
or
even
maybe
thin.
or we're never even thin.
And we're
Or
never
always had a
thin
weight
once.
problem, and now we're skinny, but they don't do Ozempic. They stop drinking and they work out now.
Spencer Pratt said the greatest thing. He's like, "I love that this can also be a way to hide more severe drug use. Like, how did you lose 50 pounds? Crack, heroin, meth. no, it's Ozempic. Better slow down. Like, who knows? Like,
Yeah,
who
who
the fuck
knows?
knows? It's kind of great.
Yeah.
Girls,
Mm.
tell everybody where they can find you besides this Friday night at the Scottsdale show with me.
Yeah, most importantly.
HeatherMcDonald.net.
Yep, HeatherMcDonald.net. And so some of my friends in Scottsdale are going.
You
And
have friends. That's so great.
I know there's not many. And also they live out of town. So that's the kind of friends I like to have, that I don't have to deal with them in town. But I have to deal with them that night.
Yay.
But basically I had sent, when I was drunk, like just a link from the internet. Like I
Yes.
just Googled Heather McDonald show, Scottsdale. And I sent the link. And then the next day you said HeatherMcDonald.net to me. And so then I realized, oh shit, like they're going to end up spending so much more if they don't get the tickets from your link from the website. So I would immediately text her and be like, oh my God, you got to go here. And then she was like, yeah, I saw those ticket prices. And I was like, girl. And so I was like, oh no, yeah, send. I was like, I told her, send people to.
And for all my dates and for everything going on, the next one after that is Denver, in which the girls will be joining me. That is at Comedy Works in Denver, and that is May 17th and 18th. Then we have Temecula, June 1 with Chris Frangiola. We have, then I'm in Tampa, Orlando. I have San Diego with Julie, July 27th. So then I do a little Texas run, a little East Coast. Las Vegas with the girls, September 21. Yes. Perfect time to plan your girls' weekend. Your kids are back in school. You are done with them. You're like, I need a little breaky poo.
Mm-hmm.
Girls'
I'm going
weekend.
for JuicyCon weekend. Since there's
Juicy
no
Con.
BravoCon weekend, there's JuicyCon weekend.
Or go as a couple.
Of course.
With your significant.
Everyone
Yeah.
loves it.
Everyone loves it. Yeah.
HeatherMcDonald.net. And of course, to listen to your podcast and find everything Brandy and Julie related.
JulieandBrandy.com is the best place to go to find our podcast. We have a free one on all the platforms called Dumb Gay Podcast. And we have a Patreon podcast with a bunch of different tiers. The first one starting at $4 a month.
Wow. And of course, for my Patreon every Friday and so much more, a bunch of different tiers, Juicy Crimes, Get Me Behind Gates, all of it. HeatherMcDonald.net. Again, you can join there. Thank you so much.